My name is Joe Chapman. For those of you that don't know me, I grew up in Monroe. Graduated from Monroe Area High School in 1982. I served 6 years in the United States Marine Corps. I served 14 years in the Georgia Army National Guard. My wife Tammy and I have been married for 33 years. I got that right, didn't I? We have 3 sons, Jake, Josh, and Jordan. We also have 2 grandsons, Gus and Weston. Still waiting on that girl. My oldest son, Jake, served 2 combat tours in Iraq. My middle son, Josh, served a tour in Afghanistan. Our youngest son, Jordan, is a graduating senior at Monroe Area High School. He will be attending college in the fall. His mama said the Chapmans have given enough to the war effort. I began my career in law enforcement in 1987 at the City of Monroe Police Department. I worked my way up to the rank of lieutenant, and in 1993 I moved over to the Walton County Juvenile Court, where I served for the late Honorable Judge George Hearn. I was an investigator for approximately 5 years. 1998, I transferred over to the Walton County Sheriff's Office. There I worked as a school resource officer at the Walton County Alternative School. One of the toughest jobs I've ever had. I then transferred over as an investigative sergeant in the CID division at Walton County. And then in 2011, we were attacked by the Al-Qaeda or Taliban in New York, the terrorists did, and my National Guard unit was called up to active duty. So we were deployed to Fort Benning, and there we did MP activity at Fort Benning, the world's largest infantry training base. Then we were transferred to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And there, we conducted interrogations on the captured Al-Qaeda and Taliban terrorists there at that facility. I was the camp guard commander at that facility. That is the most secure facility in the free world. And we ran that base with the utmost precision. After that deployment, we returned back to Fort Benning, where we did another year of MP duty there at Fort Benning. After that was completed, we were demobilized and sent back to home, Monroe. And in 2004, I ran for sheriff. And at that time, I was elected as your sheriff. And I've been your sheriff for 12 years. And I've served you with honor and respect. And I believe in the job that I do for you, and I do it for the people of Walton County. And I'm asking that you re-elect me as your sheriff for the next 4 years.
Not quite 50 years, but 40. In May. We have 3 daughters, Courtney, Kristen, and Ashley. Kristen is a UGA graduate, real proud of her. Ashley is a graduate from Athens State. And Courtney is making more money than either one of them. She's done some technical stuff, and she's doing a great job, and I'm really proud of her. I'm a retired command sergeant major with 30 years service. Active duty time included Bosnia. I was actually at Eagle Base in Bosnia. I was Base Camp Eagle Command Sergeant Major. I worked there with 3rd Infantry Division, 40th Infantry Brigade. We worked with Russians. We worked with Turks. We worked with about every nationality you can work with. My awards include the Meritorious Service in the Legion of Merit. Just the other night, I got an award. I say the other night, I got an award from the people that I work with in the Michael Etchison family. And it's a Michael Etchison award for valor. And really, I haven't done anything with valor, but the family and my officers felt that being the first chief to recognize him giving his life in the line of duty, they felt I deserved that. That's probably the most humbling award I've ever gotten. I started my civilian law enforcement career in 1993 in Monroe. I've remained employed with the City of Monroe since that time. And if you got a long enough memory, I was appointed chief in 2002. Come May, I'll celebrate my 14th year as chief of police of the City of Monroe. That was has proven in the past to be one of the toughest law enforcement jobs in this county. when you look at the turnover there, we brought stability there, like putting folks together to work together and do a good job. I'm a candidate for sheriff of Walton County. I'm here because I've had people from all over the county tell me we need change. I'm not here for another title. I'm not here for another super adventure. I'm here because people ask me to serve. Thank you.
The best experience that I possess, I've been the sheriff for 12 years. A lot to be said for that. I started my career in 1987, like I said, and I've been doing this for 30 years now. You know, I'm on a lot of boards with the state, local boards, but none of that means nothing. What the job of being sheriff is working for the people, working for the voters, the public, your spouses, your families. That's what being sheriff is about. It's not to feed an ego. It's not to have a title. It's to serve the people of Walton County. And that's what I do, and that's what I'll continue to do as long as you continue to hire me to be the sheriff.
My law enforcement experience, my leadership experience, whether it was as command sergeant major with approximately 1,800 people that I was responsible for at Eagle Base, or whether it's out in the street on Nile Street or Lacey Street, the experience I've had with the public here, you know, I sometimes said that kind of in a, not a joking way, but kind of in a sad way, that I've spent a lot more time at certain times in my career with kids in George Walton homes than I've gotten to spend with my own kids. I sat on post council appointed by Governor Deal, which looks over the regulating of all certified police officers in the state. I currently sit on the POAB, which is the Peace Officers Annuity and Benefit Board. I'm a past president of Georgia Chiefs Association. I'm a past president of the Peace Officers Association of Georgia. And I'm devoted to my community. Thank you. You got to work with people as peers and people as partners. Chiefs of police will be my peers. They won't be something subordinate to me. They'll be my peers. They won't be substandard to me. Working with people is one of the most, I think, important skill sets that I have. Whether it's been working with something with the Georgia Chiefs at the State House, at the Senate, we have to work with and provide all services equal to every agency here. If the agency needs something from the county, they ought to be able to get it without any problem, but it ought to come to where we just almost automatic. But working with people is very important. We currently work with all agencies in the county to include the Georgia State Patrol, which is a huge benefactor to Walton County. We are continuously backing up the city of Monroe on calls in the city, especially on the weekends. Monroe gets kind of wild. We work with the city of Loganville with our SWAT team. They called us out numerous times. The city of Soap Circle uses our evidence collections technician. We always work in cohesion with all law enforcement agencies in the county. And I want to say that it's at the lower level, and I don't want to say that in a negative way, but the police officers and the deputy sheriffs that patrol day to day, they work together great. I think the problem comes when the chief no longer wants to be chief and wants to be sheriff. That's where we get the friction. All the cities in Walton County. Thank you, sir. I'm going to try. Office of Sheriff is a constitutional office. It has no direct connection to the county. It is not a department of the county. The only thing Walton County does, the chairman and board of commissioners, they decide a budget for the office of sheriff. And then they turn that budget over to the sheriff, and they no longer have any control over that budget. It's 12 years of your sheriff, I've never spent one penny over that allotted budget. Prior to me taking office, that office was millions of dollars over budget.
And when you don't work with the chairman and the board of commissioners on that budget, legally the sheriff can overspend that budget, and the county is responsible for paying that budget. But if you do that, or if I do that, then you have to take away from some other department in the county to pay for that budget override. And since I've been your sheriff, we've never had to do that.
Explain it better than the sheriff, because he's the guy sitting there. I will say about the budget, he's been in budget every time. As police chief of the city of Monroe since 2012, our 2013, 2014, 2015, and our current budget, we had less spending than we did in 2012. That's tough going into. Training is essential, and quite frankly, the question of the jail needs to be answered. We've had studies done, we still got it kind of up in the air. The whole issue of the jail is what do we need to do with it? What do we need to do with it for Walton County, the taxpayers of Walton County? But making sure it's properly staffed and it's properly trained, and making sure that we have enough people. Whether you have to go back and ask for more budget dollars, whatever you have to do, we need to make sure that all of our officers are safe. We need to make sure that our officers are paid adequately, and that they have the kind of benefits that they deserve. I've said it 100 times, those guys and gals that work in that jail, they shoulder an awful lot of responsibility for us in Walton County.
Study after study, and that study's shown that our jail is inadequate. It's out of date, it's overstretched, it's dangerous. But we have the best trained jail deputies in the state of Georgia. We have one of the best run jails in the state of Georgia. Matter of fact, our deputies hate leaving the jail. We can't get enough of them to come out to go on patrol. That was a goal of professionalism in that jail, and it's been done. How many in this room, to include you, Chief, how many's had to go pick a mother up in the middle of the night and take her down to the hospital and tell her only son hung himself? Now, how many of us had to go to the hospital at night and sit with a deputy that got jumped by 3 or 4 inmates in that jail because it's inadequate? I have. I've done it more times than I care to. And that jail is you until it's fixed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The sheriff is charged with the keeper of the jail. The sheriff is the keeper of the jail. The sheriff is charged with all service of writs, warrants, and precepts issued by the court. And the sheriff is mandated for the security of the courthouse. Walton County does not have a county police agency, so the sheriff oversees the day-to-day traffic operations, calls for 911, all emergency calls, and that type. School Resources Division. Nathan got up and left early, but we give a lot of resources to the school system in this county, and as long as I'm your sheriff, we're going to continue to do that, because we believe the more time we spend on those children is the less time we spend with them when they get to be adults. We also have a criminal investigative division, and we have a jail division. The sheriff's office is no longer your 3-man people assigned to Walton County Sheriff's Office.
Minutes aren't in
The department on the best trained, best qualified for that. You know, the sheriff's job is one of awesome responsibility. And before I said I'm going to go do this or attempt to do this, I waited that for a long time. The school resource program is important. We still have one at Monroe area. The serving of papers, serving of warrants. You got to have folks. The sheriff by himself can't do that. No one individual can. You got to have staff, and you got to make sure your staff's trained and they're given adequate equipment to do that job. Thank you. I think one thing that the sheriff and I definitely agree on, at some point the sheriff's office probably shouldn't be political. It probably shouldn't be a Republican or a Democrat. You know, I think our Republican Party, and I think our Democratic Party nationwide has got problems right now. And we're dealing with a lot of stuff that's, it bleeds down at all levels. But what I want to tell you is I didn't take this lightly. This is a jab at somebody. I took it because of the number of people that come to me and said, will you do this? And the answer has been no 2 years prior, or 4 years prior. And it's been no back in 2004 when the sheriff run, actually as a Monroe captain, working for the city of Monroe Police Department. I'm doing this because I believe with the number you serve choice. I think it's good that you got incumbents with folks running against them, because we deserve choices. And when you make that choice on the 24th, I asked you to vote for me. The things that I've been through in life, some of them ugly, some of them hard, some of them tough, some of them great, have prepared me for the awesome responsibility. Probably most folks been in this courtroom in a long time, and that shows you how important it is. So thank you for your time.
Here this evening, 12 years ago you elected me as your sheriff. I've served you honorably and respectively since then. I hope I've provided you with the job and professionalism that you expect out of me. We have had a great sheriff's office in 12 years. We have great men and women that serve as deputies in Walton County. They do an outstanding job. And if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be here today. You got rid of me a long time ago. Oath of office. And I swore I'd uphold the laws of this state. I also swore that I would serve the people of Walton County. In that time as your sheriff, you know, Walton County has never been on the 10 most dangerous in the state. I've never been under a state investigation or federal investigation for wrongdoing. I took my oath serious, and I take it serious for the sheriff for the next 4 years. If you think that's the right choice, then please vote for me on the 20th. If you vote for him on the 25th. He'll correct you. Thanks again for all of you coming. I heard the vote starts May the 2nd.
Yes.
Go out. Roy Roberts says vote early and vote often.